All right, guys, getting into the week 18 cash lineup approach for you guys. All right, let's get into it. So starting at the quarterback position, I kind of just went and ended up on Jalen Hurts. I expect him to be active, and if he's active, that suggests that he's healthy enough to play. You know, like it just wouldn't make sense to play him and risk injury. Okay, like you wouldn't rush him back just given the fact that the playoffs are coming up. If he's healthy enough to play, he's healthy enough for us to roster him. Okay, and obviously just went for 30 DK points against this New York Giants team, which has been a good defense. But 3 straight games, Jalen Hurts has been over 30 DK points, and I kind of just want to chase that. If he's healthy enough to play, I kind of like the idea of playing him. Does feel a little bit risky. You could go with Joe Burrow instead, but really, we don't have that many great options. Like Josh Allen gets a tough matchup against New England. Joe Burrow, kind of the default play, I guess. You got Justin Herbert, Dak, and really the next 4 options we would roll with don't really have anything to play for, like playoff seeding wise. Then you got Geno Smith in a tough matchup, Daniel Jones in a tough matchup, Brock Purdy. I could see them potentially sitting him heading into the fourth quarter. Like I'm worried that he might not play a full game. Deshaun Watson, like okay, I guess. Mike White not going to play. So you got Joe Flacco. Like I guess Sam Darnold would be the default next best quarterback play. Like I don't want to do that. You guys don't want to do that. So it's probably going to be Jalen Hurts or it's going to be Joe Burrow. Now getting into the running back room, it is a little bit difficult as well. Like CMC is the best play. I do worry. I just have this sneaky feeling that he might not play a full allotment of snaps. Now, can he still go off in a reduced role, maybe playing 50% of the snaps? Sure, he definitely can. If he's going to get 20 opportunities, which he should, still going to be a good play. But I do worry Deebo Samuel is expected back, so maybe that takes a little bit away from CMC as well. I do think he is the pay-up play, but at the same time, it's not a lock by any means. And so I've kind of just been paying down at the running back position. And so that means I've kind of just been ending up on Cam Akers. Cam Akers at 6.2 in this matchup with the Seattle Seahawks, a team that he just went for 19 DK points against. That's highly appealing. He's had 4 straight weeks of over 70% of the snaps and has looked good the tail end of the season. So I'm perfectly fine playing Cam Akers at 6.2. Another play that I like as well is going to be Najee Harris. Najee Harris gets a good matchup going against that Cleveland rush defense, a defense that earlier this season he went for 14.1 DK points, which at this price tag would be enough. We have seen Najee Harris really just look good on the back end of this season. And it really sucks for people that drafted him in season-long leagues because it's like, yeah, this is the guy I drafted. But yeah, this guy didn't help me at all this season. He actually is probably the reason a lot of people struggled in season-long leagues. But, it should be a good play. If he isn't getting it done on the ground, then we know he's going to get some targets his way. Now, maybe they get an extended look on Jaylen Warren. I don't expect that. Coaches are trying to win. Players, the best players are going to play because coaches are going to try to win. Okay. Winning matters. Okay. Or else they wouldn't be playing the game no matter what. Okay. The only teams that don't care about winning really are the playoff teams that have nothing to play for. They're in the playoffs already. Their season's not going to change. The Bucs are a good example of that. Those are the teams you don't want to be targeting. A team like the Steelers, I like targeting them. Najee Harris should be a good play. Then from there, I was really shocked at the price point of Zach Moss. And the biggest worry with Zach Moss is just that he's not getting used in the passing game, but he gets a great matchup against Houston. I mean, we've been targeting this team really the whole season, so why quit now? Zach Moss has gotten 15, 12, and 24 rushing attempts. If he gets those numbers in this matchup, he should be able to get 10 DK points, and it wouldn't be shocking to see him rush for 100 yards. So Zach Moss does make a lot of sense. 5.2 is a very cheap price tag. And I also do want to point out the fact that James Conner is listed out. If James Conner sits, or he is going to sit, we got to figure out which running back it's going to be. Obviously not the best matchup, okay, but Corey Clement would be kind of the default number 1 running back. But this is a situation in which it would make sense for the Cardinals to probably get a look at Ingram, their rookie running back, okay? Because, Corey Clement's kind of just a proven vet. They know what they have in him. But at the same time, they're going to try to win a game. This could be Cliff Kingsbury's last game. So, they're going to try to win a game as well. So I would say Corey Clement would be the running back that I would want to play there. At the receiver position, I'm actually kind of struggling as well. Chris Olave is an okay play. Tyreek Hill, probably a decent floor play. I don't think the Vikings are going to play all too much. Chase makes a lot of sense. Okay, should be a good play, but I don't know. We just don't know the playing time too much. AJ Brown, obviously, if they're playing Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown would be a good play, but he does get that tough matchup going against the Giants. But how much of the Giants starters are going to play? It's kind of expected that they're going to set out a bunch of their starters as well. So it's just interesting there. I feel safety in paying down for some of these, just safer plays. And so one of those would be DK Metcalf. Last game against the Jets was a tough game. tough matchup, so not surprising that he didn't do all too well. But besides that, had been on a really consistent streak. So receiver-wise, pay-up-wise, I think he's kind of a starting point. And then I also really like a receiver like Garrett Wilson going against that Miami Dolphins defense. Now, he did struggle in week 1, but he's a different player now, okay? The biggest worry is that Joe Flacco is quarterback, and sure, that could lead to easier receptions. Like he could get 6-7 receptions because Joe Flacco just wasn't throwing it down the field. But that's just it. They're not going to be down the field. So he might have a safe floor because of the high receptions. The yards are going to be lower, most likely. Okay, but Garrett Wilson has looked good. He's playing about 90% of the snaps. A player that obviously at 5.8 is going to be intrigued. Marquise Brown as well as Greg Dortch. Like these two players are going to be two players I think we need to play. Both of them are going to play about 80 to 90% of the snaps. Both of them are going to get a lot of targets. And Greg Dortch was a little bit of a disappointment last week, but he saw more targets than Marquise Brown. Marquise Brown saw 9 targets, had 12.1 DK points. Like should be a strong cash play given that price tag. But at the same time, you could easily play Greg Dortch at a much cheaper price tag, and I'll probably end up doing this. 10 targets, played 80% of the snaps, gets the same good matchup. Both of them should be good plays. But do you really want to play both of them in cash? That's what you got to ask yourself. I'm actually fine with it. A pass-heavy team, a pass-heavy offense. I'm fine with that. But we are just going to have way too much salary left over. So I don't know if we need to. This might be the one week in which I finally really pay up for defense. And that's going to be the reason I don't cash, because I pay up for it, right? There are some other decent receiver plays you could go with. I think Dotson's at a good price point. So you could roll with him. Shaheed as well, decent play as well, price point wise. So looking at tight ends, George Kittle would be a good play, but if Debo's back, I don't know. I just want to do a wait and see approach, with that. And so the next best would be TJ Hawkinson, a team that really has nothing to play for. Maybe Dallas Goedert. If we like Jalen Hurts, then we'd like Goddard. Cole Kmet, with a little bit better of a passer, which sounds weird to say with Nathan Peterman, but we've seen Justin Fields struggle. And that's another thing, guys, like Byron Pringle for the Bears as well. A very good looking price point play, just with an improved passing. It sounds weird to say. With an improved passing attack led by Nathan Peterman. Obviously, they're just not going to throw, or they're not going to do QB rushes as much. They are going to have to throw it. So that should really elevate the pass catchers for the Bears. So someone like Cole Kmet might not be a terrible play, but I think the obvious play would be Tyler Higbee. Should be on the field a lot. Obviously gets a great matchup going against Seattle. You expect him to be able to take advantage of that more. 4.4 is a lot to pay up for him, but we need to spend the salary somewhere. And that's really the difficult part in the slate, is that who do we spend salary on, or do we just leave some salary on the board? That's the struggle. And I would say Parkinson for the Seattle Seahawks is a good price point play. Played more snaps than Noah Fant last week. Ended up getting 7 targets. It's a very cheap price tag. If you just want to roll with him and maybe just blindly pay up for a good receiver play that you think is going to score more than Zach Moss, that's fine. You could do that. You still have a lot of money left over defensively. So you could go with the Panthers, obviously going against the Saints. That's fine. I mean, I would imagine the Eagles defense would be the play going against the Giants, who are expected to sit some of their starters. So maybe we find a way to pay up for them. And that leaves us at a weird price tag. I don't feel comfortable with really any of these. Maybe Mixon. I don't love Mixon. Just a weird slate. So let me try to figure out how I want to close this out. Okay, so this actually worked. Paid up for Eagles defense, then went with Tyler Higbee at the tight end spot, and then we were able to put in Zach Moss. A decent cash build, which is weird because all these plays are kind of ugly at the same time. None of these plays were really anyone we were relying on too much season long. Cam Akers, Najee, Zach Moss, a little bit of Dortch, I guess, and Brown, but just a weird one. Week 18 is always fun in that sense. But that's all I have for you guys for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you know what to do. Give a like and subscribe. That helps me to be able to continue to put out more content for you guys. All right, let's have it slate. And as always, let's keep cashing.